All right, let's unpack this. Today, we're diving deep into psychopathy.
Right.
It's a topic you see everywhere, movies, TV, often pretty sensationalized, you
It's
know?
really.
Creates a lot of myths. Exactly. So our mission here is to really get beyond that, look at the clinical side, the brain science, and importantly, the impact it actually has for you listening.
Definitely. And it's important to clarify, psychopathy is seen as a really severe, complex personality disorder. It's a solid clinical idea, even though, interestingly, it's not got its own specific label in the DSM-5, the main diagnostic manual.
Ah, okay. So not a separate diagnosis code, but still a very real thing clinically.
Precisely. We're talking core features like a deep, profound lack of empathy, no remorse, very shallow emotions, often pathological lying, being really manipulative.
And it's often hidden, right? That phrase.
The mask of sanity, yeah, it can be very deceptive. And the main tool we use, sort of the gold standard for assessment, is the Hare Psychopathy Checklist Revised, the PCLR.
PCLR. Got it. Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting for me, and probably for a lot of people listening. How do we untangle psychopathy from antisocial personality disorder, ASPD? They sound so similar.
That's a super common point of confusion.
Yeah.
The key thing is ASPD is, well, it's a broader category. It focuses much more on the behaviors, things like breaking laws, lying, impulsivity, aggression.
Okay, so actions.
Right. Actions.
Yeah.
Now, pretty much all individuals who meet criteria for psychopathy also meet criteria for ASPD because they show those behaviors.
Makes sense.
But, and this is the crucial part, only about, say, 15 to 30% of people diagnosed with ASPD are actually psychopaths.
Oh, wow. So much lower overlap the other way.
Exactly. It tells us psychopathy is a more specific and, frankly, more severe subgroup. It's defined by those unique personality traits and the affective deficits, the lack of emotion, empathy, guilt, not just the bad behavior.
So it's not just what they do, it's fundamentally about what's missing inside. That lack of empathy, remorse.
That's the core of it. And just for clarity, that term sociopathy, it's mostly outdated now, not really used scientifically. We focus on psychopathy and ASPD.
Okay, good to know. So if it's about this deep internal difference, this emotional void, what's happening in the brain? Let's get into the neurobiology.
Yeah, the brain science here is fascinating. Research points pretty strongly towards differences in key areas. We often see evidence of a smaller or less active amygdala.
The fear and empathy center, right?
Exactly. And also impaired function in the ventromedial prefrontal cortex. That part's vital for decision-making, impulse control, and processing guilt.
So key emotional and decision-making hubs.
Right. And what's really critical is the connectivity between them seems disrupted. You can almost think of it like a short circuit.
A short circuit, okay, I can picture that.
And this helps explain a lot. The apparent fearlessness, the trouble learning from punishment, and why their aggression is often cold-blooded or instrumental. It's like a tool to get what they want, not usually a hot-headed reactive thing.
That neurological picture is pretty stark. So translating that, what does it mean out here in the real world? What's the actual impact on society? How common is this?
Well, prevalence estimates suggest about 1% in the general population.
1%.
But look at prison populations, and that number jumps dramatically. We're talking 15 to 25%.
Huge difference.
Huge. And here's something that often surprises people. Some studies estimate the rate in corporate leadership roles could be anywhere from 3% up to maybe even 21%.
21% in CEOs?
Some studies suggest figures that high, yes. It's debated, but the point is, traits like superficial charm, ruthlessness, being manipulative, sometimes these get mistaken for strong leadership qualities.
The snake in the suit idea.
Exactly that. And the fallout can be devastating for companies, for teams, and definitely in personal relationships too. There's often that pattern. Idealize, devalue, discard, put them on a pedestal, tear them down, then drop them cold.
That cycle sounds brutal. And 21%, that's genuinely jarring. It really makes you reconsider what we value sometimes in leadership, doesn't it? That focus on decisiveness or charm potentially masking something much darker.
It does raise questions.
So, given how challenging this disorder seems, is there anything that can actually be done? What about treatment?
Yeah, that's been a tough area. Historically, there was a lot of pessimism about treating psychopathy. Some early attempts at therapy even seemed to make things worse, what we call iatrogenic effects. The therapy actually caused harm.
Made things worse. How?
Potentially by teaching them better ways to manipulate, perhaps, without changing the underlying lack of empathy. But the thinking is shifting now.
Okay.
There's a newer paradigm suggesting that really highly structured programs, like specialized forms of cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, or schema therapy, can actually help manage the problematic behaviors and reduce reoffending rates.
Manage behavior, so it's less about trying to cure the lack of empathy.
Exactly. These approaches tend to appeal more to the individual's own self-interest, like staying out of trouble is better for you, rather than attempting to somehow magically instill genuine empathy, which might just not be possible.
Right, focusing on consequences and self-interest.
Yes, and probably the most promising area right now is early intervention. Identifying kids or adolescents who show these callous, unemotional traits, that lack of guilt, indifference, low empathy, and intervening early.
So catching it early offers the best hope. It sounds like treatment is about containment and management, appealing to logic over emotion.
That's a good way to summarize the current thinking, yes. Equipping them with tools to navigate the world with less harm based on rational self-interest.
Well, this deep dive really shows psychopathy isn't just movie monsters. It's a complex, biologically influenced personality disorder with some really profound impacts way beyond fiction.
Absolutely. And it leaves us with a pretty significant question to ponder, doesn't it? Given this disproportionate impact in crime, yes, but also potentially high up in legitimate organizations, what changes might we need in how we structure things, how we assess people, maybe? How do we better identify and guard against individuals who operate without that moral compass? And how do we build environments, maybe in workplaces or elsewhere, that truly value genuine integrity over just, superficial charm?